Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Abhijit. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, sir.
What is your assessment about Indian economy? How are we doing?
Sir, our current GDP growth suggests that we are doing very good in the GDP growth terms, but the unemployment condition and the disguised unemployment conditions shows that there are some problems. Moreover, we are taking good steps in the form of different FTAs are signed, like India EU FTA has been signed yesterday only. So we are doing something good, and there are some problems as well.
But do you think GDP is a good parameter to understand the well-being of people?
Sir, GDP shows two, three things that are very good. Number one, the production capacity of a country. That means the necessary products are being available to the citizens or not. Secondly, it also talks about how much revenue a government is earning, which can be redistributed to the people as well. However, it is not a very good indicator because it do not talks about the income inequality in the society. It do not talk about the happiness index in the society. So there are some flaws in the GDP to be a well-being parameter, though it's provides something good.
Abhijit, how do you measure the economic well-being? What do you know about the Human Development Index? What are the parameters?
Sir, in Human Development Index, we talk about uh, education, health, schooling, number of schooling years, and also a person have necessary things or not. I'm not able to give the correct words for the three parameters of HDI right now, but it is was related to the uh, education, health, and the basic necessity that a human have.
How do you measure health? What are the parameters for measuring good health?
Sir, IMR and MMR are taken as a headline parameters, infant mortality rate and the maternal mortality rate. Apart from it, undernutrition, stunting, and wasting are the important characters. Apart from it, life expectancy at birth is an important parameter to understand the health of a country. And there are other parameters of fertility like total fertility rates, contraceptive prevalence rate for the health.
Now, we are aspiring to be a developed country by
For
2047, right? Now, what is the sort of economic growth rate we need to achieve to reach that milestone or to reach that level?
Sir, I think we have done pretty good in the last 30 to 35 years with around 6.5 percentage growth with inflation contained under 4 or 5. We need to do this thing only for the next 20 years. That is economic growth of 8 or 9% somewhat with the inflation controlled under 4 or 5% to be Viksit Bharat by 2047. But this Viksit Bharat should also be inclusive Bharat, so we need to promote income inclusivity because currently our inequality is more than the British times. So we need to have an inclusive growth rather than just a growth, because only growth is a feature of a cancerous cell. Inclusive growth is a feature of a healthy body.
So, do you think this goal of becoming a developed economy by 2047 is it achievable with the present state of affairs, or some reforms are needed? And in which sector you think we need more reforms to achieve that growth rate?
Sir, as I have said that we are doing good, but yes, there is always a better version of the best. We need to have some reforms in the 3 or 4 sectors which I consider to be most important. First is in agriculture. Our agriculture productivity and our agriculture value addition is very less compared to the rest of the world. We need to focus that our youth to be retained at the agriculture with increased productivity and increased value addition. That is, our agriculture production should be linked to the exports, what UAE, what other country wants. Second important thing is the manufacturing sector. We need to deregulate the sector a lot. There is still a lot of hurdles. Ease of doing business is not good in the India. manufacturing is just 15 or 16% of the India's GDP, which has a lot of potential. We were losing with the textile. Now we have signed the FTA to subset. With the Bangladesh, we were losing in the textile, and we have signed the FTA to found a competitive market. Third is the service sector. I find that inclusive education, inclusive healthcare should be our priority to make our population not only skilled but healthy, to be a good skilled workforce for the Viksit Bharat. And in addition to this, women labor workforce participation should be increased by giving safety and job equal opportunity, other measures. And lastly, I think we need to focus on the upcoming new technologies like artificial intelligence, semiconductor, so that we should not miss the bus.
Okay. Thank you, Abhijeet. I will pass it on to Dr. Gupta.
Thank you, sir.
Abhijit, now you are a Jain and you also interested in the Jainism. You recite some verses of Jainism. Now, Jainism, one of the fundamental philosophy of Jainism is aparigraha, that you need not accumulate lot of wealth. But on the contrary, I find most of the Jains are very big businessmen, very wealthy. So why this contradiction?
Sir, firstly, to be very honest, not all the Jains follow the all principle of Jainism. So probably most of them do not follow the parigraha by heart. Second, but we need to understand this thing also, that Jains are the community which donates the most. Jains are the community which have almost, we see a lot of monks that are renouncing their wealth and gaining the monkhood. So I am not justifying this contradiction, but we can understand a little bit about it.
Okay. Now, can you tell me something about Shyama Prasad Mukherjee? That is part of your permanent address.
Sir, Dr. Shyama Prasad Mukherjee was a youngest vice chancellor of Calcutta University. Initially, he was a freedom fighter and a prominent leader in the Congress. He was also a minister in the Nehruji's interim cabinet, a minister of industries, to be particular. Later, he had some contradiction with the Nehruji's about the policies in the East Pakistan, and he resigned from the Congress and formed Bharatiya Janata Sangh. He had his vision that in one country there should be one anthem, there should be one flag and one constitution, particularly for the integration of Kashmir. And later he died in a very mysterious way that no one knows.
Okay, very good. Now tell me the role of Narmada River in MP.
Sir, Narmada rivers have first role in economy. That is, it provides a very good alluvial soil in the Malwa region or the Western MP region for the agricultural production. Second is the historical significance of Narmada, around which the whole many kingdoms of MPs were there. Also, we have found the archaeological significance of Narmada man, which is considered that humans were originated from here as well. Third importance is a cultural significance that Namami Narmada, Narmada Aarti, and Narmada Parikrama occur. It's a very devotional thing for the people, local people.
Okay, now US has announced its withdrawal from World Health Organization. What are your views?
Sir, I think US is parting away from its responsibility at the global institution it used to make, and it would hurt all the countries. Number one, for the reason because of funding would be decreased. US used to fund 20% of the WHO. Secondly, programs like TB elimination and HIV would suffer a lot because US used to fund 50% of the TB elimination and 75% of the HIV/AIDS elimination. And we will also suffer because our national TB elimination program used to get technical and research and development assistance from the US and WHO from as a whole. But there is a lacuna in the leadership. There is a risk that it might be filled by the China. And again, we can have a less transparent WHO that we saw in the COVID-19. And there is a lot of risk about it.
Okay, my last question to you is that now world is passing through a total realignment, and India is following a policy what we call strategic autonomy. Do you think this policy is serving us well under the so-called, you know, loyalty which some of the countries are looking for?
So I think India's policy of strategic autonomy is a very futuristic policy. We are, as Honorable President Draupadi Murmu has also said in last day in his speech, that India would be bridge in this dividing world between the West and between the developed world and the developing or the underdeveloped world, because we have a good relation with the West, Europe. We have good relation with the, Russia and the African nation as well. I think our strategic autonomy is serving us two, three things. Number one is that we are able to get our energy resources from the diverse countries. And in the difficult times, like the US has put the tariff on us, we could easily diversify our exports. For example, our marine export has seen only a dip of 2 or 3%, which should be the very massively. Second, India is getting close to many countries like EU, Russia, because of these tariff or the country who wants loyalty. So I think the strategic autonomy is serving us pretty well.
Okay, so we don't need to align with any country.
So we need to be aligned with multiple countries, not one or only one country.
Okay, thank you so much, Abhijeet.
Thank you, sir.
Over to
Thank
you,
sir.
Professor Sunny Kapoor.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Hello, Abhijeet. How are you?
I'm good, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Abhijeet. Abhijeet, you are a doctor, right?
Yes, yes, sir.
Why did you decide to leave respected medical career for civil services?
Sir, the primary reason is the diversity of the work profile that the civil service offers. After post MBBS, I was looking for the different career option, and post graduation civil services were the different options. I find that medical sector in the medical sector, super specialization trend is becoming more and more. So the niche is becoming very narrower. For example, if I am a cardiologist, I would be seeing 6 to 8 type of patient for whole of my life. While in the civil service, it would offer the diverse opportunity. And secondly, the social respect is also one of the factors.
Okay. Abhijeet, during your medical services, did you ever feel helpless because the problem was of administrative in nature, not of medical in nature?
A lot of times, sir. I agree on it.
Can you tell anyone which you touched you a lot?
Okay. Sir, I did a outreach program for the TB elimination, TB screening 2 years back. I find that the tuberculosis we are dealing it as a health problem. It is not. It is a social problem in which multiple departments need to be coming together, because TB is a social problem. Undernutrition, overcrowding, lack of sanitation. These are the main factor in stigma. These are the main factor that are making our country to be a TB ridden country rather than just a health problem. So I find if I would be in the administration, I could have done a better thing.
Okay. What ethical risks do you see in AI, which is basically if dominates in the healthcare sector tomorrow?
So the first factor is, if I talk about from the patient side, AI not only AI diagnose with the confidence, and AI can misdiagnose with the confidence. So this is the biggest risk factor for the patient side. For the doctor side, it is that over reliance on artificial intelligence probably may lose their clinical skills that they used to have. Second is that the AI is very black box, non-transparent. How it is making decision is another risk. And last risk, that is the utmost which I consider, is that is our country may become AI dependent on other country. because we are not doing at fast in which the China or the USA is doing.
So, in order to avoid this risk, what measures do you suggest?
Okay. Sir, for the first thing, that currently neither FDA, neither CDSCO has approved patient-centric artificial intelligence model. I find that artificial intelligence models should be limited to the preventive, promotive health for the patient. For the doctors, it should be a guiding tool, not a decisive tool. For example, a AI model should not say that this patient has TB or this patient do not have TB. AI model should say this patient has 60% likely chance to be a TB. So that final decision should be in the hand of a doctor. Other things I want that we should be doing a lot of research and development and promote AI in healthcare in our country, so that if we should not miss the bus of artificial intelligence race.
Okay. Why do good policies fail at ground level in India? Can you tell any three important reasons?
Okay. Sir, first reason is that we do not take ground reality into the consideration. Our policies are top bottom, not bottom up. We do not take the stakeholders into the policy making. We just implement, we just execute policy on them. For example, on tribes, we are implementing some policies without taking their problems into the consideration, leading to the failure of policy. Second is that coordination gap at the ground level. Most of the policies are not just a policy of one department. It is a policy of combined multiple departments. And at the ground level, I have seen from my eyes that multiple department coordination has failed to deliver the project, the final result. And last thing is that probably our communication is not good. We sometimes do not make able to do awareness about the policy at the ground level. For example, Ayushman Bharat uptake is less because many poor people do not know about the policies till now. So these are the three.
My last question to you is, suppose a child dies in a government medical hospital. Media accuses administration for the negligence, and before inquiry, public anger is rising. What will you say publicly? You will defend the system or accept the responsibility?
Sir, before coming to answer to particularly this dilemma, I would first understand why the death has occurred. What might be the reasons? Is the death was preventable, or if it was due to some non-preventable causes? After understanding the cause, I would fix the accountability. Who was accountable in this? Is the doctor's responsibility? Is the responsibility of pharma companies? And after understanding all this thing, I would take a decision that yes, it was our mistake. If it was our mistake, I would take it with a big heart that it was our mistake. But we promise that next time it would not occur. And if occur, you can make us accountable at any level. And if it was not our mistake, I would sensibly do not reject the people's anger. Uh, I would empathize with them, listen to them, and try to convey what might be the reason of it.
Okay, Abhijit, thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Abhijeet, now questioning is over. And
Yes.
we would like to share our assessment with you. I think this is the first time you are competing for civil service exam. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. So you have conducted yourself very well. You are confident. Two, 3 points I would like to make. One, I think you need to check your facts first, very
Okay.
carefully, because my question was that what sort of economic growth rate we need to achieve the target of a developed, becoming a developed economy by 2047. The present growth rate is totally inadequate. We need a much higher growth rate. Please check this point.
I definitely.
Okay, then on this Indian economy, you see, you should understand that becoming a fourth largest economy, as we claim we are already, and reaching a goal of a developed economy by 2047, that is one part. Second dimension is inequalities. So, how does this, correlate with the Human Development Index, the quality of life. So, what are the measures of quality of life? You mentioned rightly about education and health, and also economic well-being. Basically, how do you judge that? Now, Bhutan, for example, has happiness index, and so money is not giving you all the time happiness. So, how to bring in economic well-being and happiness in this measure? So these issue don't give a strong answer. Try to analyze, try to understand, and give your own answers, uh, so that it appears that you have analyzed the problem yourself, and you are not giving a routine sort of reply. Then, about your job. Certainly, there could be questions about what is your role in MCD. Why, as a doctor, you want to leave civil service? Why, what Professor Kapoor was asking you. And AI. Now, one of the hobbies, I think you have mentioned application of artificial intelligence in healthcare. So you are very well prepared that how AI will be applied and how it is being applied. But AI, some people say it's a boon, some people say it's a bane. So, what are the dangers inherent in AI? I mean, you need to be very clear what are the dangers and how to tackle those dangers, because this is one of your areas, focal areas of interest also. And question can be how AI can be applied in administration, in civil administration. To what extent, as a civil servant, you would like to use AI for the welfare of people? So kindly give some thought to this application of AI, not only in healthcare, but in civil administration for the welfare of the people. And you are a very good candidate. You have conducted your very well. And I would like to give you my best wishes, Professor, Dr. Gupta.
Thank you, sir.
I share with Pradeep ji that you have done very well. Most of your answers were very satisfactory. You should prepare on your state, MP, in different ways. For example, the economy of MP, the role of Narmada River, I asked you, the role of MP in the independence of India, particularly in the first war of independence. Shama Prasad Mukherjee, because it is reflected in your this thing. And then the medical profession, how you look at it. How we can combine the traditional Ayurvedic medicine with the modern medication so that it can be more effective in countries like us. So these are the areas where I think you should give little more emphasis. And of course, the current events, what is happening in the world and in India. So if you focus on these things, you will do very well.
Thank you, sir.
Professor Kapoor.
Yes, Abhijit, you are a good candidate and you given answer in a very well manner. Just need to add one or two more points that sometimes your answers were a bit emotional or it was a little bit lengthy. So you need to be very give answer in a precise manner. Even last time in the last question when I asked you about the situation, so you were admitting it. You are simply saying, I will admit if the fault will be of the medical hospital. Instead of giving answer like this, you could have given the answer that I will, sir, follow the process. I will let the inquiry decide. You are not the final authority to decide. You will simply say, sir, I will do my best, and at the end, let inquiry should decide. And whatever, what I'm trying to say is don't take it on your own. So just try to believe on the due process and whatever the corrective action should be taken, just mention about those things instead of what you were telling. So otherwise, I think rest everything has been mentioned to you. So when is your interview?
25th of February.
25th of February. Okay. Okay, Abhijit. Thank you.
Abhijit, I would like to supplement what Professor Kapoor just said. Now, I think you need to grasp exactly the spirit of the question. For example, and some of your answers were really, quite detailed. I had asked you that to achieve this goal of becoming developed economy, which sectors need to further reforms. So you went into manufacturing, explaining in detail about all that. Now, when I'm asking you about sectors, you should say financial sector, you should say criminal justice and judicial system. You can say agriculture sector. So rather than that, that can be a subsequent question. That what do you do in manufacturing? What do you do for small industries, etc. But when I'm asking which sector, sectoral reforms are needed, just mention the sectors without going into details about, of that sector. Do you appreciate what I'm saying?
I completely appreciate, sir. It would give me a lot of questions instead answering one.
So uh, try to understand the grasp and try to be precise about replying specifically to the question. Further elaboration may or may not be needed. If there is further questioning, you can elaborate on that. We didn't ask you about your very interesting hobbies, playing ukulele, which I understand is sort of a guitar or I don't know, four-string instrument about that. Now, that's a very interesting hobby. So, some questions, you should be prepared that is it a pastime or does it break your monotony? What is it really, it helps you in? So some questions about your hobby. It's a very interesting hobby, I find. So, because hobby becomes very important. And for what purpose? So this is another area where you would like, to just think about it. Okay. So all the best wishes from all of us.
Sir, I
And
have two, three questions if you allow.
yes.
So first question that you have rightly mentioned, I have written ukulele, playing ukulele. Uh, can you mention, sir, two, three questions which would be asked because I have to prepare this hobby today or day after tomorrow about this hobby. On which line I should prepare it a lot? There is a technical side, there is a non-technical side about it.
Uh, which area did you say?
So technicality of what are the strings made up of, how it, why it is melodier than the guitar, uh, what are the different types, companies
No,
of it.
no technical questions. I mean, nobody in the interview board will perhaps know about ukulele. So forget about any technical questions. As I asked generally, now this is, ukulele is somewhat a unique instrument. People know about guitar, violin, tabla, etc. Ukulele is not really, very popular or known instrument, so to say. So there could be some general questions. How does it compare with guitar? Who are the main, players in of this instrument? How many people are there playing ukulele? Why did you take this hobby? Why not guitar? I mean, some sort of general question, but I don't think anybody in the interview board is going to ask you technical questions about ukulele. No, I don't think so.
Second question, sir, is that I have a very weak foundation of economy. I do not know much of economy because that's why I was blabbering a lot in the answer. I would read economic survey that has been out today with a full heart to understand our economy. How do you like if it was below average or average?
No, as you rightly yourself realize that you need to update your knowledge about Indian economy because you are a doctor, but you want to join civil services. So, condition of Indian economy, what are the problems we are facing in economy? Inequalities are there. Achieving a higher rate of growth is there. Infrastructure problems are there. Another dimension will be what is GDP, what is gross national product, what is the difference between GDP and GNP, what is purchasing power parity, what is the correlation between purchasing power parity and GDP, how the GDP, in different relations differ on the basis of PPP, purchasing power parity. So try to study this somewhat more, about Indian economy. And since economic survey will be out and budget will also be, presented. You said your interview is on 25th of February, I think.
Yes, yes, sir.
So you will have sufficient time. So go through the economic survey. Go through
I
the budget carefully. And how does budget affect poor people? Now, my focus would be as a civil servant, basically your job is to help the downtrodden, the poor people. How does the budget, what are the provisions in the budget for a poor fellow? What are the provisions for industry to push the economic growth? What are we doing for infrastructure? So, various sectors, you know, how the budget is trying to help those sectors. Try to study from an analytical mind, right? Anything else?
Sir, the last question is to the Dr. Gauri Shankar Gupta sir about a Jainism question that you have asked, the paradox of Jainism and wealth that they have. I could not. I have been this question to a lot of time, and I could not justify this most of the time. How was it?
The fact is that the people who write Jain in their name, they are not necessarily the follower of Jain philosophy as such. Maybe very few of them are. Rest are basically business people. So the philosophy is very different, and the profession of these people is so different. So they are basically, if I can, understand it properly, the Jains are very, cerebrally very strong people. By and large, they have good talent, and they have used their talent more for business and less for the religious philosophy. So this is how I look at it. So, they have prospered in business, but the Jainism is not prospering because of these kind of people. Of course, they are constructing temples and they are donating for other things, but that is very small, segment of Jainism.
Thank you, sir.
Anything else, Abhijit?
No, sir. That I learned a lot.
So
Abhijit,
again, we wish you all the best.
sir,
I'm
sorry
sure
to
if
interrupt.
you
Just want to mention one more thing to Abhijit. Uh, when I, Abhijit, asked you the question that during your medical services, did you ever feel helpless because of the problem was administrative, not of medical? So you were giving me the answer not of the administrative problem, but of the social problem. That it was a social problem. So, but question was, I was asking about the administration, but you were giving me the answer in a social manner. So I think the answer could have been in that manner that shortage of staffing was there, or a shortage of medical equipments was there, or something like that. So administrative point should have been given. So this is one more thing which I wanted to tell.
I agree. I agree.
Oh,
okay, Abhijit, thank you very much. All the best.
Thank you, sir.
okay.